Welcome. Please subscribe, thumb up the video, share it to your social media. This is a fan theory for the show called From. It is on MGM Plus. It is a fan theory that contains spoilers. Viewer discretion is advised. All right, to the left of Jade, I believe this is a sacrifice rock. And it's covered with red. I believe the red is blood from sacrifices. The second sacrifice rock. It looks like a guy impaled to a tree with a railroad spike. So the railroad spike is associated with railroad. Railroads are associated with tracks. Tracks could be associated with traveling, maybe a journey. The fact that only his eye has been impaled against the tree, he's not bound to the tree or nothing else on him has been impaled. He may have volunteered for this in order to sacrifice his eye to gain some type of divination. In Christianity, the eyes are often written about in relation to light or knowledge. This could also be a reference to the one-eyed god. The one-eyed god being Odin. Odin had sacrificed his eye to be able to see. Odin gouged out one of his eyes and dropped it into the well. Odin had a quest for wisdom, and he was willing to pay any price for understanding life's mysteries, to gain knowledge of life's mysteries, to be able to see the answers to all the questions that he had. He sacrificed his eye or gouged it out in order to gain the sight. You could say this is not equivalent to Odin gouging out his own eye because this guy didn't obviously do this to himself as far as impaling him into the tree. To me, this is similar to female genital mutilation. It comprises all procedures that involve partial or total removal of the external female genitalia or other injury to the female anatomy. Female genital mutilation is practiced predominantly within certain Muslim societies, but it also exists within some adjacent Christian and animist groups. So, similar to female genital mutilation, this impaling mutilation could be associated with a ritual to give up something or give up flesh in order to gain some type of enlightenment, higher state of being, according to the cult that's practicing it. During this ritual practice, it wasn't enough to just gouge out your eye. You had to stay on this tree and become one with nature for a period of time before they released you. It also could mean that if you survived this process, then you were worthy of being accepted into this new enlightenment and state of being. It wasn't enough just to gouge out your eye. You had to survive being impaled on a tree for a period of time, because this guy, when Jade walks up, is just kind of like there in a daze. And then he wakes up and grabs Jade. And then in the next frame, he's going to be drinking blood from a skull and offering it to Jade like it's communion, with a religious leader or cult leader doing this to his eye, impaling him to the tree. After the ritual practice is over with, now he's able to commune with everyone else and have the gift of sight. It is said that Odin sacrificed his lower self or parts of his body, his eye, to achieve a higher self or a higher state of being. He exchanged a profane, everyday mode of perception for a mode of perception informed by divine ancestral wisdom. So we've seen Jade, he's been seeing symbols. He doesn't have the answers. We saw him frustrated. Episode 1 of this season, season 3, he was wanting to give up while everyone else is gathering food. And this vision is showing him the way that other people who have been, let's say, chosen to be prophets, like I believe he's been chosen to be a prophet, they were able to obtain enlightenment and answers by sacrificing an eye. Jade is being pulled in close, and whatever this entity is, may be possessing Jade, making sure that he sees the eye, letting him know that if you truly want answers, you're going to have to sacrifice something in order to gain enlightenment. Now Jade sees a vision of the same guy that was impaled to the tree. He's dressed as a colonist. The colonial period in America was the time when Europeans colonized North America from early 16th century until the American Revolution in 1776. I'm hoping that the writers, and this is my theory, that the reason why he's dressed in colonial outfit in Fromville is that he's a part of the Roanoke colony, a British settlement on Roanoke Island in North America that mysteriously disappeared between 1587 and 1590. So when English ships returned to the island in 1590 to resupply, the colonists were gone and the island was deserted. The fate of the colonists remains a mystery, which has led to the colony being known as the Lost Colony. So in this theory, the settlers of the Roanoke colony, they were taken into Fromville. And so one of the colonists that we see on the show in Jay's vision may have accepted satanic ritual practices to try to find answers as to why they were there and couldn't leave, what was going on, to get answers or obtain answers on how to leave and even survive. Most of the colonists that came went through a starvation period that occurred during the winter. They faced severe food shortages and died in large numbers. So I believe the colonists from Roanoke colony may have been experiencing the same thing with food shortage and starvation and disease, and they turned to occultism, they turned to satanic ritual practices in order to gain answers and to help themselves to survive. Colonial American men's clothing, maybe he wanted to figure out how to get food for his family or to maybe save the town or how to get to Fromville. He sacrificed his eye to gain knowledge. The sacrifice of the eye probably gave him the knowledge that he wanted, especially being trapped in a place like Fromville. So he steps forward, as if this is a ritual. The eye is gouged out. He has the divination. He's drinking from a skull cup, drinking blood, which is associated with getting energy from something. So in the Bible, John 6:54, whoever eats my flesh and drinks my blood has eternal life. When it comes to like church, there's the ritual of communion of drinking blood and eating a body, which drinking blood and eating a body, which is a part of communion, it means believing and acceptance. So you're symbolically doing it in the modern age, but historically, in my opinion, they actually did stuff like that in a ritual to say that they're accepting Jesus Christ or accepting a religion. And once you accept it, you become a quote unquote believer. So once you become a believer and you've accepted it and you're drinking blood and you're doing other things, now you're able to be accepted into the kingdom of heaven or accepted into the religion. And in a way, by you sacrificing something and drinking his blood, you gain energy from what's been sacrificed. And you also have a state of enlightenment to be connected to a higher power. So what we just witnessed was somewhat of like a ritual, drinking the blood of my enemies, gaining their power, gaining wisdom, gaining understanding. And this was probably what Jade is going to have to do or may choose to do in order to gain information and answers. Meaning he's going to have to sacrifice something like his eye and sacrifice an actual human and drink the blood in order to truly get the answers that he wants and to achieve or obtain enlightenment. This is from MGM Plus promo from a still shot. It looks AI generated. But in the still shot, Jade's right eye is white, which shows kind of like he has now received enlightenment like Odin. And just like the guy that was impaled on the tree, he had his right eye gouged out by the railroad spike. I believe that Jade is going to sacrifice something, drink the blood, gain the answers. And if you notice on the right over there is the boy in white. The answers to everything, such as leaving Fromville, gaining answers, obtaining things, warding off the creatures, it's all dealing with human sacrifice and self-sacrifice in order to gain and obtain something. But the trade-off may be that you're slowly getting possessed and you're slowly evil, which I believe that's the whole point of the right hand there, which is like it looks like a darker version of the hand of the creatures. And it may come out that the reason why we see a hand on the left there is kind of a human hand that's in all black, and a hand on the right, that's the hand looking like one of the creatures when they've formed into their creature mode. that maybe the creatures went on the same path of drinking blood and sacrificing things, and that's how they became what they are. So who knows? So yeah, I think Jade's going to have to, if he really wants to get the answers for the symbols, if he wants to get the answers for everything that he's witnessing and seeing, he's going to have to sacrifice his right eye and gouge it out, drink blood in order to get enlightenment. So what do you think? Let me know in the comment section your thoughts. Thumbs up the video, share to your social media, subscribe, click the notification bell. Thanks for watching. Go forth, do great things, and I'm out. Peace.
The future's not ours to see. Que sera, sera.